Hello all.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to the Shoegaze 93 channel, the channel that
Thanks for
celebrates
having us.
itself. Yeah, no worries, Ali. This is Ali Price. This is the front man of Verve tribute band Reverve. Um, and they are playing, be sure to catch them. They're touring around the UK quite frequently lately. And Ali wants me to promote specifically the Torquay show at the arena in Torquay. They've got a show on the 13th of September, Saturday
Yeah,
night, with the Supersonic Oasis tribute band and Happy Mondays spelt with a Z instead of YS.
that's it. Yeah, looking
Uh,
forward to that one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
doors
think it's a
six.
the revamped venue, the arena. I think it's been kind of renovated and reopened. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Yeah, and there's like a big indie party afterwards. DJs playing till the early hours.
Yeah,
So yeah, looking forward to to joining the boys on stage for that one.
yeah, and of course I'll try and be there because it's not far away
Yeah,
from me. So yeah,
it'd be great,
I can't
mate.
be a
Yeah,
wicked night.
yeah, absolutely. John, you can make an effort and come over for this one, but
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
I'll see you in Manchester in October.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got John Boswell here at the bottom, the American Britpopper. He's a big drummer, and he's played in multiple bands, which he's shown me some songs from. And yeah, he works at Memphis Magnetic, isn't it? Is where you record.
I do a lot of session work with Scott at Memphis Magnetic Recording, and yeah,
Mm.
it's a great studio. I'm really happy that he lets me and get work, and so yeah, it's a really good studio. So
Yeah, but it must be awesome having that freedom. A bit like me at DBS, really. Just being able to book it up and use it most times during the week. It's a real luxury.
yeah. No, I have to wait on his call. Obviously, a lot of bands come in, and they've obviously got drummers, but if it's a singer songwriter looking for a specific kind of style, and Scott will give me a call, and yeah, doesn't happen as much as I'd like for it to, but it does happen. So yeah, I'm very thankful and lucky to have that and have him.
Oh, that's wicked, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to session then on quite a lot of different styles of music and that, and sort of
Well,
hone your skills.
he when somebody comes in and is looking for like maybe a rock kind of thing, a four on the floor, good solid rock drummer, a guy that doesn't overplay, plays to the
Mm,
song, then I'll get that call. So yeah.
mm.
Okay, so yeah, today's topic, we're back to the Verve again, and we're looking at this since it's the 30th anniversary of the Verve's sophomore album, second album, A Northern Soul,
Brilliant.
with
What a classic.
Owen Morris in the Owen Morris in the production seats. Of
Mm,
course, producing Oasis, and shortly after Ash, around this kind of
uh,
period. So he was a busy guy. He was a vital guy in the whole Britpop thing, really. Along
mm.
with John Leckie, I would say they're two brilliant producers around that time. And yeah, so this was the band really in full swing. And after Storm in Heaven, so they kind of changed the style a little bit. So yeah, we could do this track by track, guys, if you want to. I'm quite happy to do that. Um, obviously, new decade. It starts off with a new decade.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's that fade in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, yeah, I love the fade in, and
Mm,
I might as well kick this off then and just say, yeah, this is my review of a new decade, and I love the way the bass is there. It just throbs
mm,
away slowly, and it gets you pumped up for what's going to come.
yeah.
This big wave of like guitars, and I think it's like a synth in there, isn't it, or something? It's like some kind of
Crashes in when it comes in. Yeah, it's massive, isn't it?
yeah,
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 Um,
yeah,
it's
huge.
and and and
you
and,
get
and
that. Go on.
it's the first time you hear Ashcroft, out of the reverb, and you hear his
Yeah.
voice really come forward. It's a real signal that they've moved on from A Storm in Heaven, and now Ashcroft is really going for the whole frontman thing, and it's much more rock and roll this time, you know.
That's it.
Big statement. Yeah.
He's the way that comes in, it's got that it kind of sort of assures you that you're in safe hands. Just the sort of, again, the gentleness, but it's still so tight with the rhythm section. Peter and Simon, it just the way it kind of glides in, and then you've obviously got this huge guitar behind it, and it's just like, yeah. It's just so pumped, isn't it? Yeah, confident. Yeah, but it's dark as well, and it's just got its own energy. As I say, it's probably it's described. Someone was saying, "Oh, it's just such an intense album." Definitely have to agree with that. It's just everything's on the line kind of thing. It's got a feel to it about that, the lyrics and that, and A New Decade, I think, is a perfect opener for that. It sort of sets the scene. It's a perfect opener, I think.
Yeah.
And then of course followed by This Is Music, and then it really gets going then.
yeah, the first single. Yeah. But John, you got anything to say about A New Decade? Anything you can add to that?
You guys pretty much covered it, but yeah, again, the way it just fades in, and then a full-on sonic assault there. It's just huge. And to Ollie's point, where This Is Music comes in right after that, and
it's a really neat transition, isn't it, between the two tracks?
The 1-2 punch. I mean, and it's pretty flawless, man. It's goosebumps for days. At least on mine.
Yeah. And like what Elliot was saying is so true about the whole lyrical theme of this album is really dark and really depressing. Really, it's I always found it quite similar to the Bends by Radiohead, lyrically speaking. Because there's a lot of like talk about sort of antidepressants and all of that kind of stuff. And he says, "What's it? A skin full of dope or something, isn't it?" On History, and I got a skin full of dope. And what's the other dark ones? He's always on about saying like you go into this life on your own, and then you leave on your own, and those lyrics are on 2 of their songs. It's on your own, and then So It Goes. They both have that kind of theme with the lyrics.
So I want to die alone.
I want to die. God, man.
I want to die alone. Yeah, that's it.
You got to remember that he's coming off a 6-year relationship, and so I'm sure he was really, hurt by that, and looking at the lyrics, you can tell, man. I mean, as we all would be, but I guess, leading into the next track, this is how I kind of relate to it. I was kind of coming out of a bad relationship, a bad breakup when this album came out, and when I got it, in the lyrics going into track 2 on the album, This Is Music, the way, that just the sonic boom of that song, and the lyrics, if love is a drug, then I don't need it. I was like, yeah, exactly, man. Because I was coming off a bad breakup too, and it's like,
I've been in my bed too long, sitting at home.
Where he says, well, music is my life and loved by me. I was like, yeah, man, yes. But, I still feel that way. I was 25 when that record came out, and that's the way I felt about music then. I'm 55 now. Ooh, did I just say that? But man, music is my life. It always will be. Super passionate about this stuff. I mean, you guys know that. So, but this record, this record for me ranks right up there with the Roses' first record. Definitely, maybe.
Yeah.
It's an awful.
Agree, man.
Yeah.
It's strong. It's maybe less accessible, but yeah, on This Is Music. I was just saying, it's such a. I say it's probably one of their heaviest tracks. Just by by the time it gets to the crescendo at the end, and McCabe's just blaring away. And
It's a
Ashcroft's got the
perfect
chant. Yeah, it's
perfect gig
massive.
opener.
Oh yeah, it's huge, and it's just like this big storm. Um, and again, it's got aspects reminiscent of certain things in A Storm in Heaven, but it's got this whole new kind of brash kind of sort of confidence and sort of defiance in it as well. I think the first two tracks have got that. That's why they're perfect sort of openers really to the album. What comes ahead.
That last little bit of distortion or whatever's happening at the very end of New Decade, and then boom, right
Yeah.
to the tambourine and bass line of This Is Music. I mean, yeah, it's just the way they put that together. I guess Owen Morris had a lot to do with that, but it just flows perfect. The perfect 1-2 punch, I mean, yeah.
That middle bit when it goes to been on the shelf too long, and stuff that McCabe's playing. He's bringing that psychedelic kind of sound back into it in like this kind of quick playing and stuff that he's doing underneath those words, and that's really cool.
Yeah, that part you're talking about. Of course, I'm going to say this about the drums because being a drummer, but what Salisbury's doing right there with the snare and the kick pattern is really, really cool and unique. It sounds very simple, but it's really, really unique what he's doing snare and kick wise during that part. But that's just little drummers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The final thing I want to say about that song is that, I mean, for me, I guess it's not quite as heavy-hearted as John's reasoning, but I relate to that song through because I do the night shift at Tesco, and it's like I've been on the shelf too long. It's like me fed up with my job, and I want to get out of here. How's the world going to take me when I make music and do what I want to do eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or be a sound engineer. I might be that.
It's got that, it's call to the unknown, isn't it?
It's got some ambition to that song, some encouragement. It's saying, get yourself out of there,
Yeah.
The same way that Oasis Supersonic is saying, just be yourself, and just go for whatever passion you have in life.
And that's what was so great about the music coming out of the UK in the 90s compared to what was happening over here with grunge. Now I liked some of the grunge stuff, obviously, but I mean the stuff that was happening over there for me, I mean, so much more emotion, so much more. I mean,
it's trying to get you away from something. I think that's the main theme of that song. It's trying to get you away from dark times, and it's all bittersweet. The whole album, it's trying to find some lightness in the dark.
Yeah, that's that sort of piece. It's defiant, isn't it? Of like the troubling things in the background, like a breakup or that kind of sort of
defiance.
Difficulty because. Yeah,
that's the word. I
think McCabe and Ashcroft, I think, were having difficulties in relationships or coming out of relationships, and despite all that, and there is obviously some dark stuff on there. There's still this kind of sort of confidence, this sort of defiant sort of inner strength of of going forward. And he's always had that ability, isn't he? Really, he's had that ability to sort of pick positive parts out of some really dark corners.
Yeah.
Which I think is why people are drawn to their music, definitely.
When he sings, "Well, music is my life and loved by me," that's it. That's all you need to know. Right?
Amen.
Down we go until we reach the bottom of my soul. This is music. Yeah, it's a perfect ending. It's just great rhyming there.
So those first two tracks are like like a reflection of where the band sort of were, I suppose, getting really tight coming off the first album, having toured, and then, I think they demoed a good handful of tracks off that album before they went in the studios with Owen Morris, and obviously just so tight again, and it's just that, you hear it, don't you, as on the fade in, saying "New Decade" as it just comes in again, and so it goes as well. This kind of gentle sort of brings you in. It's just such strong, confident rhythm section, and it's just this lovely feeling of God, yeah, you're in good hands. These guys are like top of their game. Only by album 2. But yeah, so this is music and then into On Your Own. And yeah, do you think it's quite a departure from the stuff they've done in the past? It seems a bit much more, more like singer-songwriter, with Ashcroft
Yeah,
sort of dominating the track with his vocal. But what a
Richard
beautiful track.
Ashcroft's first kind of signs, isn't it, that he's going to go his own way.
Yeah, like,
He's going to take charge of the band.
Kind of thing, for sure.
But I do like the song. It's great, great lyrics and really nice vocal melody to it. It's kind of using the Oasis kind of style chords with the G, the C add 9 and A7s and stuff, E7s. There's sort of like the anchor chords, they call it, isn't it, on the G, and you sort of go like that, and
yeah, it's like whatever chords Wonderwall, and that's it. Yeah,
a Noel acoustic kind of track. Yeah.
The maturity of this song, I mean, of the whole album, from the first record, it's so different. A Storm in Heaven, but it amazes me that the difference, and the sound of the songs. Now they're as we get to other tracks, you do hear little bits of Storm in Heaven, but the maturity, and I don't know if that was, Owen Morris had something to do with that, with shaping what they were doing or whatever, but it's just it's the perfect album, the album leading into what's to come with Urban Hymns, and a little bit of what happened on A Storm in Heaven, but sonically, and Nick McCabe's playing on this record's just, more rocking, more distortion, still plenty of effects, but not so shoegazy.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love A Storm. Don't get me wrong.
Same here, man. Yeah.
It's more meat and potatoes, and just it's a different beast, but in a good way, for sure.
It's like it's got like industrial sort of sounds to it as well, and I've always thought like Brainstorm Interlude and that kind of stuff. It's just the places he goes with the guitar. It's kind of sort of like chaos in it. It's great. He's like let loose, isn't he, sort of thing?
that Brainstorm Interlude reminds me of Noise Epic from Fourth.
Oh yeah,
because they have some manic track on Fourth called Noise Epic, and that's it's like a part B of that Brainstorm Interlude.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
So we go. So after the acoustic ballad, we got There It Goes, isn't it? So it goes.
So it goes. Yeah. So it goes. Yeah. I love the sort of gentleness of the track, the way it just sort of brings you in, and this floating, lovely bass again, and the drums is just there. They're just so tight at this stage, and Ashcroft just comes in. It's just a lovely moment on the album. I think again, it's I think like the first 4 tracks are almost like a sort of like the beginning, like if it's like a 3-part act kind of thing. Yeah. And so it goes. It's like the last track of those first 4. Beautiful lyrics again. The vibe on it.
You come in on your own in this life, and you leave on your own. But again, I go back to the playing on this song. I mean, it's just the way it flows, and McCabe's tastefulness on the guitar, and the way Jones and Salisbury are playing together, locked in, like they are on the whole record, really. But I mean, this song really, it's just
it's got just what it needs. Like you say, there's no overproduction, there's no overplaying. It's just everything in its right place. All the four musicians have got, they've got room to excel and just make this beautiful track. As I say, just it's handled so well, the vibe of it, the melody. It doesn't matter how dark the lyrics go, because the kind of melody sort of just picks it back up again. It's that kind of that is almost like a contradiction sort of thing. But that's what I love about it. It's just that's one of the special ones, I think, on the album for me.
Agreed. Do you guys do that one?
We've played it in rehearsal, but we've never done it live. There's more of a Northern Soul we'd like to do. Yeah, we'd like to do Stormy Clouds, and we get asked about do you do this? A lot of, especially guitarists, always ask to do Stormy Clouds and the reprise. Come back in at the end and just go crazy. But sometimes, so we might do an edited version. It's quite long. But we do This Is Music, we do On Your Own, and we do History and Life's an Ocean.
Cool.
But yeah, we'll do more, and we'll definitely do more B-sides from this era and that as well. I See the Door, Let the Damage Begin. I think they're great tracks as well. B-sides off
one of John's favorites, isn't it? Let the Damage Begin. That's one of your favorites, John, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean the rock and rollness of that tune, it's and gosh, again, I being a drummer, of course I'm going to say this, the way that Salisbury and Simon Jones lock in on that tune is amazing, right? And it came, obviously on this single, a B-side of This Is Music. So I don't know, but
that one's coming at us from the States. This one's coming from Wales.
Nice.
Right.
The Welsh edition.
Yeah, the Welsh version.
No, hey, check it out, guys. I bought this shot. Made in the UK, baby.
Oh, there we are.
Nice.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, you got a nice collection there. Yeah.
So and then it goes obviously into track 5, the Northern Soul, which has got the crazy guitar sound on it, which is just that. Yeah, I love that. That's like that really sort of industrial kind of sort of filthy sound. Again, that's just it's Nick McCabe, isn't it? Just having a ball.
Some of the darkest lyrics as well.
In that intro, using a wah-wah pedal in that intro.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out myself. It's some kind of filter, that's for sure. Yeah, it's like an EQ filter, whether it's a wah pedal or you can get some kind of EQ, some other form of EQ sweep. It could be anything like that. Yeah. Or it might even be like a talk box, like those things you hold up to your mouth and you kind of do you vocalize with the guitar thing. You ever heard of one of those things? Yeah,
those like tubes.
Peter Frampton and that use one all the time.
That's it. Yeah, the Furries used to. I think Griff from the Furries used to use one quite a lot as well.
Yeah, so be interesting to ask Nick McCabe about that. If I can ever get a chance to interview him on this channel, that's one of my ambitions. But he never gets back to me. He never gets back.
Keep trying, love. Keep trying.
A bit private.
Yeah.
Gosh,
no, I say.
What about the lyrics? Some of the lyrics on this particular tune, especially the phrase "I'm going to die alone in bed." It's like, and then
one of the darkest ones. Yeah.
Wow.
It's raw. Yeah. And it's just that there's that thing as well. It's still going forward though. It's still got that sort of confidence. And then this this kind of bitter sort of almost like acceptance of his fate. It's it's just this. It's just that it's powerful, isn't it?
But you're right that the drums, definitely the drums and bass give it this kind of swagger, don't they? It's that industrial kind of drums, even. Yeah, I see what you mean by that industrial kind of comparison. Yeah.
It sounds just, again, it's so different from the first 4 tracks. It's kind of like a new segment of the album kind of thing. And it sort of takes you off in different places. Just gets more,
bit of a
yeah,
bit of a trip,
more experimental. Yeah.
bit of a trip hop kind of drum beat actually.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a bit of a trip hop about it, definitely.
yeah. I agree.
It's,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's a great track.
But again, another sonic
Mm,
blast. I mean, it's McCabe's
mm,
guitar is out front throughout that whole song. And again, it's just it makes the track what it is. Just the sonic, his guitar playing on that song.
it's,
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder, like, Owen Morris's sort of production, obviously mixed them definitely maybe, didn't he? He had that, huge sound, but managed to sort of push Oasis's sound to the, to the sort of brim. The amazing guitar, just this massive industrial sound. McCabe going crazy, um, and some of the darkest lyrics, but yeah, just this pounding, relentless kind of sort of determination in the track again. Um, Yeah, and I think it's almost like, yeah, it's like the middle, sort of kicks off the middle of the album where things go, um, yeah, in a really sort of different direction, really. First four tracks set things up nicely, and then I think the album goes in a different direction to the way you might expect with those first four, which is good.
Definitely.
And again, that might be a reflection of like the chaos, that was involved in making the album, whether it was from the, just you know, the shenanigans they were up to with Owen Morris in the studio, which is quite legendary in it by now. Um, and yeah, apparently there was some strange kind of sort of patterns, wasn't there, in like the timing and things like that. They were saying it would take them all week up till sort of Wednesday, like warming up. By sort of Wednesday night, they might record something, get their flow. Um, and if that didn't happen, they'd all feel depressed and start again the next day. But
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go on, yeah.
I was going to say, doing research on this record, I found out that it seems like McCabe was on kind of a different schedule on compared to Ashcroft. Like Ashcroft was like wanting to work at night, and McCabe was really wanting to get going during the day. So, but so I guess they kind of clashed there on the working, but
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame. Obviously, they're all obviously under different pressures going on in their lives and things like that at the time. Um, but they obviously endured a lot to get this album made. Um, Sounds like the kind of sort of beginnings of the sort of end were kind of sort of born in this recording process. They took out of the studio some sort of fragilities that obviously then went on to kind of split the band up later on. Um,
but it made for a great record. It made
yeah,
a phenomenal
exactly.
record.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I was just going to say it's all there. The tension is all there, and I think it makes it a much more real piece, of music, and all the more believable. And that's why it stood the test of time. I think it is um,
Yeah.
because it is very much them at their peak. I think, like in terms of they're match fit, aren't they? Coming off touring off the first album, they've got this. They've obviously been through these big things in their lives as young men, and they're cracking on forward with this kind of potential sort of big future for the band in front of them, and obviously all the weight of the press on their shoulders as well to deliver the second album, the difficult second album, and they kind of go for it in this kind of crazy sort of way with Owen Morris. Um, yeah, it's just yeah, it's one of those classic stories now, I suppose, the making of this album. Um, Oasis get all the attention, don't they, for the debacle of making what's the story and all this kind of stuff. But Northern Soul has got to be up there, hasn't it? With yeah, just like a labour of love, and they stuck around and endured the difficulties to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yes, it's definitely right up there with, especially Morning Glory. I think it's okay. I might hear a lot of comments for this, but I think it's a better album than Morning Glory. What's the story, Morning Glory? For me,
Wow.
definitely, maybe, you know, I mean, that's
big accolade there. Wow, big statement.
yeah. Well, for me, again, the lyrics on this record speak to me more than the lyrics on What's the Story.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
definitely maybe's another story altogether. I mean, that was a huge record, but again, I have to go back to being a drummer, and this might ruffle some feathers too, but the way McCarroll played on, I know we're drifting off into Oasis, but the way McCarroll played on Definitely Maybe was just like,
It was just right for the record.
oh, so right. I mean, it was so rock and roll, almost punk rock kind of stuff. And while I like Alan White, and I just think McCarroll wish he could have played on that second record. But anyway, we're drifting off into we need to stay on track. But anyway, so. But yeah, I think Northern Soul's right up there with What's the Story for sure.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, as I say, I understand when people say maybe less accessible, but yeah, it's just great. It's just those moments where it absolutely sort of launches itself. I think the track listing is really interesting in this album and stuff as well. Like I say, I keep going on about this kind of 3-part act kind of thing. It's Brainstorm Interlude is sort of like, cuts the album in half. If it's a vinyl, obviously it's track 6, and you turn it over then for to go into Drive You Home and start the second album.
You start to get into the more jam groovy side of the album.
Yeah,
more
that's
jamming.
it. Yeah, but yeah, Brainstorm Interlude, I like it for all its, again, just the kind of sort of experimental sort of aspect, and it's just kind of, it's got a place on the album.
Like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, McCabe is just going crazy on the guitar, man, and it's real funky too. It's a great track for sure.
The rhythm section as well. I mean, like Pete and Simon were just, together, are just such a natural partnership there. Just such a natural groove, just locked in. Again, it's just that thing, isn't it, of never playing more than they need to, but what they do deliver is just like you say, so mature. And again, you just feel like you're in safe hands. I always describe their kind of rhythm section as sort of this big floaty hand that you can kind of sit in and fly off through the clouds.
This dude, describing it perfectly, man.
Yeah.
I said this in the last time Sam and I did a meeting. There's a drummer named Mark Haney, and he played with Gang of Four briefly, but he played with The Shining, which was that project, that Simon Jones and Simon Tong did after Urban Hymns. But I asked him, I chat with him on Instagram. He's a great drummer in his own right. But I said, man, what was it like playing with Simon Jones, being a drummer? And he said, man, the most incredible pocket, you wouldn't believe, it was like something like that. And then I was like, man, I'd give any chance to be in a room with that dude and just get behind the kit and sit with him, just, play along with him, because that dude has it. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. Simon has it as a bass player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he always looks like he's enjoying himself in the gigs.
Yes.
Which I love. I love watching like the old videos on YouTube and stuff. I was unlucky. I missed an opportunity to go to Hay Hall gig, and a friend of mine went and said it was amazing. But just looking back at some of the videos, the Glastonbury one as well. I think it was 2007, was it, something?
2008.
2008. Yeah, and he's just screaming,
just
at
smiling,
the crowd. Yeah, he's just enjoying himself.
Got his hat on and all that.
Yeah, so in it. So it's great, man. Just being able to watch those lads deliver those tunes.
Yeah,
it was nice to see them have that comeback again, and be able to deliver those songs, add some new ones in there, and have that big stage to just open up for them again. It's like, yeah, you're the Verve, you should be up there headlining, and they did it.
That's
So it
great.
was, yeah,
Great.
it was a nice moment, definitely. Yeah, so second half of the album, Drive You Home. It's obviously, yeah, like a gentler track. But again, like lyrics wise and stuff like that, yeah, it carries on the themes of the album. I think like the kind of this breakup and the acceptance of loss and stuff like that, and then moving forward. Um,
Mm.
Very strong again, just the kind of sort of feelings and the undercurrents in the album.
Yeah, Drive You
Like I
Home.
say that,
It's like what,
yeah.
yeah, bit like what you're doing right now, that in the car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, definitely one of the kind of, it's a breather, isn't it, on the album.
Yeah.
And again, like, talking about the track listing, the way it comes down, and the way when it just ends, and then suddenly those strings from History just go
Mm.
bang and kick in. It's
Yeah.
like it's perfect track listing, I think, because it just suddenly go, whoa, what's that?
Yeah.
History was the first Verve song I ever heard, and
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, those strings, as I say, I
The
always loved that track, Massive Attack track, Unfinished Symphony, is it?
Unfinished
Yeah,
Symphony. Yeah.
Symphony. Sorry, yeah, and I think the guy who did the strings for that did the strings for History as well. They recorded that, didn't they, separately? And it wasn't done in Wales. I think it was done in Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I read that too. Yeah.
and yeah, I've heard a few things. People say it didn't belong on the album, History, and all that kind of stuff.
But
But oh wow,
definitely a precursor for Bittersweet. It's Richard's first use of the orchestral strings. So a
yeah,
bit of a precursor for Bittersweet Symphony.
it's
Oh,
just
and
this.
that whole album, Urban Hymns. I mean, if there was a track on this record, maybe On Your Own a little bit, but definitely this track
Yeah.
as a precursor to what was to come,
Mm.
Yeah.
for sure. History. Plus, you got Liam on hand claps on this tune.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. Yeah, is that
Yeah,
true? Is it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he got in there.
Cool cameo.
I mean,
Yeah.
that song as well. It's like it means so much to so many people. It probably is my favorite Verve song, just because I've got so
Wow.
much history with it. You know what I mean? Going all the way back, and it was one of the first songs I learned to play on the guitar. And you just come back to it in different stages of your life and can relate to it, and in different ways. And the lyrics take on different meaning as you get older, and you kind of like, yeah. I mean, fucking hell, it's just brilliant, isn't it?
A real
Stunning.
a stream of consciousness kind of song. It's
Yeah,
like Richard Ashcroft just almost rapping from his head.
that's it. Because it
Really,
is.
really fluent.
If people say, "Oh, it's a ballad" and this kind of stuff, but it's quite psychedelic in the way it's the relentless, like the way the lyrics keep coming, and the verses and stuff. And when you play it live, it's you're right up at the mic. You don't really have much time to move at all. You're on the mic delivering the verses and the lyrics, and it just keeps going. It's this big 6 minute sort of odyssey, but it's the track everybody asks for when we play. People shout it out, history, history, and if you don't play it, they ask, why didn't you play history?
Wow. Wow.
You get that, yeah, a lot. So I think it's definitely one of the more famous and favorite tracks. I think it does mean a lot to a lot of people. Certainly to me, I think it set a standard there. I think that again, another bold statement. I don't think Noel Gallagher's ever been able to achieve a song quite as beautiful as that. Maybe Cast No Shadow, but
Which was about Ashcroft.
yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah, that's right. Or inspired by, or like a little dedication to him.
Is it
Yeah.
dedicated?
But yeah, but History is just, for me, is yeah, I absolutely love it. I love all their tracks. You know what I mean? And I get huge emotions from their tracks. I get psyched up by them. I get
Same.
Yeah, I get
sort of,
I get psyched up by a lot of them.
yeah. But History, to this day, still been playing it now and rehearsing it a lot. And this kind of stuff when we play it live. Do our version of it. still means and registers with me. Do you know what I mean? And when it ends, I go, fucking hell, that's such a great track, isn't it?
Love that, man. Love that. That was great. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool
Good.
story.
Yeah.
Really good connection with it. Yeah. So
that's what it's all about, man. The connection. The connection.
Yeah, I think it's again, it's just that the variation on the album of the different kind of sounds, the sonic sort of spheres that you've got going on in this album. And for me, I think History fits perfectly on this album as this kind of just this big moment. And again, with the strings and stuff, it's like, oh, nothing else sounds like that. And it was almost like, oh, why don't we just throw everything at this track for this amazing orchestral arrangement? You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it's great. That's what the 90s were like, wasn't it? Music-wise, it was, let's try it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. Then No Knock on My Door.
yeah,
What are your thoughts?
that's a great one.
Yeah.
Another heavy on the guitar, which is great
That's
because the last track didn't really have that. I mean,
Totally.
in fact, Nick McCabe, he got kicked out, didn't he? Because he wanted the guitar on History, but couldn't get his way. So that was one of the reasons why he left. There was a big huff about that, you know. But
I think you read different things from
I was
different
about
people.
to say the same thing. I've read all kinds of different things about that.
Yeah. One thing, as someone said, it's a quote from him saying he listened to it and thought, I can't really add to it. Like, I think it's fine as it is. So he kind of passed on it. And then I think Richard might have taken offense by that. I don't know. I mean, it's speculation and this kind of stuff. But maybe staying off it was a good choice because it is what it is. You know, I mean, that track. But no Knock on My Door. It's good to have him then come back, especially in this album. You know, to come back in then with that, you know, that breadth and that sort of power again.
Richard's vocals are incredible on No Knock on My Door.
Oh man, yeah. He's singing with.
He's singing like he wants to get back.
What he's feeling. You can hear what he's feeling when he's singing that, and that's the magic of music and the magic of this record is in most every track on this record you can hear in his lyrics and the way he's delivering the lyrics what he's feeling, and that's what music is all about, man. I mean, you know, that's
a real tremble in his voice in that song.
Yes.
On that chorus section when he's just shouting, "No knock on my door," you can really feel the passion there.
Yeah,
he's singing to the back rows, isn't he, of the stadium?
Yeah.
No, I'd say his it's such a departure from the first album vocally. You know, that's one thing I'd say. Obviously, you know, you've got the fact that the guitars are, you know, they're much kind of drier, aren't they? Less delay and that kind of stuff. But the songs are more on the nose, and the vocal attack is more on the nose, isn't it? All the way through. He is out front, and sort of bearing all kind of thing. So it's such an interesting change, isn't it, from the first to second album.
It would be interesting to for people to expand on that a little bit more. Actually, like the choice between Storm in Heaven and Northern Soul. It would be interesting to find out what made that change. You know, if anyone put stuff in their ears and said, you know, you guys need to change your style, or was it themselves, do you think, that thought, you know, we need to get away from this heavy reverb style?
Yeah, strange. I mean, it's like there's only is there 3 years between the albums, or maybe 2.5 years between the albums and recording time?
Two years.
2 years. So yeah, a lot can change at that age, I suppose. And obviously a lot was changing sort of culturally, wasn't it? You know, in the kind of music scene and, you know, worldwide really as well, especially in the UK.
They were fired up by Definitely Maybe, weren't they? And
I was about to say that. You know, hanging out with the Oasis guys.
So, Richard knew he had to come more forthright, didn't he? To kind of compete really with the Oasis guys.
Well, I think it's like that thing, isn't it? It's the you know, it's there for the taking. The good bands can sort of stand up and command respect. And in the shoegazer scene, it was kind of almost, you know, before that, it was never, there didn't seem to be the
Yeah,
like the sort of drive, like,
yeah,
you know, to become sort of
yeah,
commercial and popular. But that was the kind of, was the
yeah,
opposite of what they were trying to achieve, almost, like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Whereas I think with Oasis, they came along and said, yeah, what's wrong with wanting to be popular and take over the world?
mm,
And I think like that may have had an effect on Ashcroft anyway, to say
Liam
like, yeah, uh,
Liam's confidence, you know, and then Ashcroft was, you know, you look at interviews from that period, and he was like, you know, we're the best band in the world, you know, the same kind of thing, and just the confidence and
yeah,
believing in the music, and I don't, you know, it's just so that I'm sure that had a part to play in it, you know.
I
The
think so.
yeah.
Yeah, it was you know, they were obviously with definitely maybe, sorry to keep going back to that album, but they obviously achieved such good sales and such good, you know, quick popularity. It's like a real quick rise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That it did obviously change the music scene, and you know, whether people were happy selling, you know, 8,000 you know, albums and stuff in the past, it was like, ah, you know, let's try and sell over 100,000 now, and you know what I mean, and
mm.
you know, and climb up the charts and you know, and be a bigger part of the kind of scene, the guitar bands and stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably relevant. Yeah, um,
Yeah,
yeah, I would say so.
yeah, indie labels were um, getting kind of in partnership, weren't they, with like Sony and stuff like that? So
Yeah, massive big
Creation
guys.
went 50-50 with Sony.
Mm.
So it's like they had the major label financial backing all of a sudden that could,
Yeah,
so they could compete with all the pop stuff in the charts.
yeah,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, great stuff.
So
Yeah,
so refreshing at the time to see it all up there. You know,
yeah.
and like the top 10 to be, you know,
Mm.
seven of which were, you know, guitar bands or whatever. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It was, yeah, it was great. But
Oh,
yeah, Life's an Ocean coming in,
yeah,
coming up next, and
woo, what a song.
yeah,
What
yeah.
a
it's,
song. I mean,
yeah,
the bass
Boom,
intro.
boom, 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 boom.
Oh man.
Dun,
So
dun, dun,
so
dun.
I got an interesting story about this song in particular. So I was in a band, a power pop band here in Memphis, called Crash into June. And I remember, you know, when we would rehearse, I would pick up my bass player's bass, and I'm not a bass player, but the two songs that I could play was
Yeah,
I Want to Be Adored and Life's an Ocean. And
brilliant.
just the intro to that, you know, I'd always pick up the bass guitar and play that intro. And it's like, man, what a song. What a song. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
for me, this track on this album, this track and This Is Music, probably my two favorite tracks on the record. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
God, I mean, the groove again, the groove that Pete and Simon have. I mean, it's just God, they are so locked in. It's.
proper.
I mean, it's again. I just for me, you know, goosebumps. You know,
Yeah,
Oh, it's
incredible,
brilliant.
I
incredible.
hear
Yeah,
this.
It's my favorite song to play in the band. Um, yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, it's just when it starts again, it's just that sort of feeling of you're on that big hand again, floating through the clouds. And yeah, it just is. It's just so lovely to hear that bass start and those drums together and stuff, and then the guitar, the way he kind of chops and the off rhythm and stuff, and yeah,
Hey,
it's just brilliant.
hey,
And then when that solo kicks in as well, it's just like,
oh,
you know,
yeah,
it just
yeah,
goes down the rabbit hole of,
incredible.
you know, it's
yeah,
psychedelic and
yes,
it's absolutely stunning, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. What can I
The
say about it?
the way McCabe does it at Hay Hall. I don't know if you've seen the
Ah,
Hay Hall
yeah,
version of it's incredible. And
that's it.
there's a
I was just about to
Jules
Jules
say,
Holland
Holland.
one as well.
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
man,
great. That.
yeah.
wow,
They zoom in to what he's
wow,
doing on the guitar, and
yeah.
it's some incredible stuff. So doing some tapping and stuff like that as well, isn't he? And
Uh,
really
it's
funny yeah, funny techniques, and he's pulling it all out of
I
the bag for
yeah,
that.
always want that tune in every set. But you know, you get people when you got a short set, if you're supporting or something like that, and it's like, it's not as well known as, songs off Urban Hymns and things
Right,
like that. So
right.
I'm like, oh, come on, let's put that in. But it's like, you've got to put space and time in there and,
Yeah,
and this kind of stuff. So it's a very difficult band to make a set list for.
it is. So
Um,
many great tunes all across the board. Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's it.
even with Fourth, there's still some good songs on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Yeah. I like Fourth. Gets quite a lot of stick, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
I like all their albums, and
I
I
do
can I
too.
can I kind of like just try and put them in their place in their time, sort of thing, and what was going on with the band and stuff like that. It can't have been easy to come back to make Fourth either. Obviously wasn't that easy to come back and make Urban Hymns, was it? After the first sort of split, but they did it, and yeah, there is some strong tracks on there. Apparently there's a lot of tracks that ended up on the sort of editing room floor, if you like, um,
yeah.
which were never released. Yeah,
Blue Pacific Ocean being one of
yeah,
them.
that's it.
Don't know if
Yeah,
you heard that one.
I've heard a couple. Yeah, there's
So
on some of the.
going back to the Storm in Heaven kind of style.
That's it. Yeah, uh, but
Yeah,
I suppose it would have been the first sort of two albums is sound more like a band when they've got that time and they're in a rehearsal room and they're jamming together and they're writing songs organically like that.
yeah.
And as they inevitably get older and busier and more successful, they've got less time. So songs almost have to become more sit down and songwriter, you know, just so you can actually get some stuff done then to take back to the band. It's almost like inevitable sort of thing that they lose that sort of jamming sort of that quality,
There's
especially if you're splitting up all the time as well.
Yeah, that's what me and John said in our last video. Actually, we were saying about
Yeah,
it must be hard with the gap with Ashcroft's solo career and the Black Submarines and stuff to come back together. It must have been hard without
yeah.
without the flow of being together for a long time.
Mm,
well,
yeah.
I like Fourth, but I will say this to me. When I listen to that record, some of that record seems, I don't know, for lack of a better word,
Rushed.
forced.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't have the same. I don't get the same feeling listening to that record that I do from listening to a Northern Soul. But that's
yeah,
just me. That's just me,
yeah.
But
Forced
they're all
forced
down
and
the,
rushed. They're the two words I would use. Forced and rushed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
I like Judas. I like Appalachian Springs.
That's a great song.
They're the two
yeah.
highlights.
Great song.
Appalachian is beautiful as well. Yeah, absolutely stunning. Like it's a flawless track, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Should be on considered in their greatest hits, if there is
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
But
Sit and Wonder was quite good as well.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, good opener and stuff. Yeah, they're just different stages of their lives and all that kind of stuff. Their best work is with most bands was their earliest stuff, really. But yeah, it's only 4 albums, really, isn't there? Do you think they'll ever get back and do a fifth?
No, I don't know. I mean,
Unfortunately, no.
I don't think so.
Not after I heard that Lover song by Ashcroft. No.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah,
let's
you're
not
not
go
a
down
fan
that
then.
rabbit hole.
What was your reaction to that, Ali? That song.
Yeah, surprising. Like I've heard it live and it sounds better live. I don't know really. Like he's made some curious sort of production choices and stuff with some of his solo stuff. Um, and it's not that I sort of dislike it. It just takes me a while to sort of adjust to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, but I love him, you know what I mean? And I sort of, respect his decisions. Like, and I've heard him say that he wanted to make, I've heard him say it's easy to write like a dark, depressing song, a sort of a sad song with like minor chords and this kind of stuff. He said it's easy to do that. He said it's much harder to write a positive sort of song, which, has kind of some sort of message, about getting out there and living a good life and being being a productive, constructive person. So I can sort of see what he's going for, and he's promoting the message in you know, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I respect that, I suppose. But is it as good as history or Let the Damage Begin?
Absolutely not.
No,
Okay,
it's
so
not.
Stormy Clouds. Then let's get on to that. We only got 4
Yeah.
minutes. We only got 4 minutes left, guys.
That's fine.
So we
Yeah,
got
that's absolutely fine.
so the last two tracks, Stormy Clouds, and then the last track, which are kind of bleed together. I kind of feel like that these two tracks, more than any other track on the album, kind of give a nod to Storm in Heaven.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know. I kind of hear where, you know.
Yeah, it's like a celebration of their sound so far. It's like, but it's also like a sort of here's to the future.
Yeah,
It's a strong finish, isn't it,
Yeah.
for you know for a strong album. And it's you never know that all the chaos again that went, you know, behind that album, making of that album, from a track like that, it finishes so strong, doesn't it? And again, defiant sort of thing.
yeah.
Look, I know we only got a few minutes left, but we've got to talk about the big October 18th date. It definitely maybe
Yeah,
Affleck. I mean,
that's right.
that's going to be a huge gig. I mean, for me to be a part of that gig, and I so appreciate you and your band members
No worries,
asking
man.
me and letting me be a part of that gig.
Our pleasure, John. Our pleasure to have you. Yeah, no, I say it's great from when we first got in contact. To, you know, talk to a fan from over the seas, with a massive appreciation for the music that we love and grew up with. And then when you said you were coming to Manchester, and it was like, well, we've got a gig on the 18th, at the Oasis theme bar. Definitely, maybe. So it was like, yeah, it was a no-brainer. Do you want to come up and do some tracks? So we're really looking forward to jamming with you, man.
I wish we had a full day where we could get together
Yeah,
in a room
I
and
know.
rehearse and have a great time.
Yeah.
But it'll
Yeah.
be cool, man. I mean,
It'll be
gonna
cool.
be it's gonna be fun, and man,
Absolutely.
I can't wait to hang with you and meet the rest of the guys in the band.
Nice one.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturday, 18th of October, that is. And yeah, we're looking forward to that, man. We're going to do two
you heard it
massive
there.
sets. We're going to do a load of B-sides as well. We're going to do songs from all four albums, EP, B-sides, and John's going to get up and join us. And so any Verve fans out there, come down for that. It'll be a laugh.
You heard it there from Ali below there. Yeah, hopefully the viewers.
Shameless plug.
Hopefully you'll get some viewers turning up to that. Yeah.
Sam's got to be there. Sam's got to be there.
Yeah, you should come up for that, Sam. Definitely.
I will, mate. I will. Yeah, be really cool, mate. Really cool.
On another note, I don't know how much time we got left, but check out Ali's old band, and particularly the track Submarine. That's a great tune, man.
Thank you, man.
As I've
Thank
told
you, John.
I find myself, you know, I've got my Apple Music playlist, and I've obviously put that on there, but man, you know, I hit shuffle when I'm driving, and anytime it comes on, you know, it's never a skip. You know, I mean, it's a great tune, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll tell the rest of the lads in the band as well. They'll really appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. All right, thanks. We'll wrap it up there then. All right.
Thank you very much. Yeah, great to speak to you guys. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Ali.
See you in October.
Again.
October.